What actually happens the moment you stop eating. Congratulations! You've decided to eat once a day like a medieval peasant. Except, somehow, this is now a biohacking strategy that tech billionaires pay coaches $500 an hour to explain. Your ancestors did it by accident. You're doing it on purpose. Respect. Think of your body like a city with two power grids. Grid 1 runs on glucose. Fast, convenient, always on when food keeps arriving. Grid 2 runs on fat. Slower to switch on, but way more efficient once it's running. Most people never flip the switch because they keep feeding Grid 1 every few hours without knowing Grid 2 even exists. The moment digestion clears, roughly 4 to 6 hours after your meal, glucose drops. Insulin pulls back. That pullback is the key. Insulin and fat burning can't run at the same time. High insulin locks fat in storage. Low insulin opens the door. By hour 12, Grid 2 is fully online. Fat cells start releasing stored energy. Your body didn't break down, it just switched power sources. The city kept running. It just stops needing Grid 1 to keep the lights on. Your insulin crashes, and that's a good thing. Nobody celebrates a hormone crashing. Crashes are bad, except when that hormone is insulin, in which case watching it drop is the metabolic equivalent of finally cutting power to a grid that's been running at full capacity since someone discovered bottomless brunch. Think of insulin like the circuit breaker controlling Grid 1. Every time food arrives, the breaker flips on, routes energy to cells, and locks Grid 2 completely out. You can't run both grids at once. Insulin on means fat burning off. One meal a day flips that breaker off for roughly 20 hours. With Grid 1 powered down, Grid 2 takes over. Stored fat breaks down, ships to your liver, converts into ketones, and starts powering everything from your brain to your muscles. The city keeps running, just on a completely different energy source. Chronically high insulin is a breaker that never trips. Grid 2 never runs. Fat keeps stacking up, and your cells gradually stop responding to insulin's signal, demanding more and more of it to do the same job. OMAD resets the whole system. The breaker trips daily. Grid 2 runs its full shift, and your cells get back the sensitivity they lost somewhere between your third snack and your fourth meal. Autophagy turns your body into a self-cleaning oven. Your cells have been quietly collecting broken parts, damaged proteins, and biological garbage for years because you kept feeding yourself every 3 hours like a nervous parent at a buffet and never once gave your body time to take out the trash. Turns out the trash has been piling up since approximately the last time you skipped a snack. Think of autophagy like a maintenance crew that only gets called in when Grid 1 powers down. While Grid 1 is running, the crew sits in the break room. The moment it goes offline, they get the call. Broken cell parts, damaged proteins, everything that piled up during the busy shift gets stripped down and turned into raw materials for new construction. This isn't minor housekeeping. The damaged proteins autophagy clears are directly tied to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and cancer when they build up unchecked. The 2016 Nobel Prize in Medicine went entirely to the scientist who figured out how this works. That's how big a deal it is. Around hour 16 of fasting, autophagy kicks into measurable gear. OMAD puts you there every single day. The crew doesn't just clean, they rebuild. Recycled parts become fresh proteins, stronger power plants, and tougher tissue. Human growth hormone goes completely feral. Your body makes human growth hormone, the stuff athletes get banned for injecting, naturally, for free, every single night. Most people have accidentally built the perfect conditions to shut it off entirely by eating a snack at 9 p.m. and wondering why nothing in their body works anymore. Incredible. Think of HGH like the city's reconstruction superintendent. He only shows up when Grid 1 is fully offline and there's no insulin traffic on the roads. The moment those conditions line up, he arrives with blueprints: muscle repair, fat burning, tissue rebuilding, bone density. His crew gets to work fixing everything the day shift wore down. Research in the Journal of Clinical Investigation found a 24-hour fast raised growth hormone output by up to 2,000% in men and 1,300% in women. That's not a rounding error. That's your body unlocking a repair system it was built to use and almost never gets permission to run. OMAD creates that permission window every day. Insulin stays low, the superintendent clocks in, and your body spends each night actually rebuilding, not processing a bedtime bowl of cereal. You wake up having genuinely recovered, not just survived until morning. Your brain runs cleaner on one meal a day. Skipping meals will make you stupid, they said. You'll lose focus, forget your own name, and stare at a spreadsheet until someone walks you to the vending machine. This advice came entirely from people whose whole personality is a mid-morning snack and a motivational mug. Think of your brain like the city's control tower. On Grid 1, it runs on glucose, fast but unstable. The signal spikes, crashes, and demands constant resupply. The control tower keeps flickering. Around hour 16 without food, your body switches to fat, starts making ketones, and the control tower gets a clean, steady power line instead of whatever you ate 90 minutes ago. Ketones make less cellular damage than glucose when they burn. They also raise something called BDNF, a protein that grows new brain cells and strengthens the connections you already have. Think of it as fertilizer for your brain's wiring. People on OMAD report sharper morning focus and clear thinking that doesn't fall apart by 2 p.m. Your brain wasn't struggling because you ate too little. It was struggling because it never learned to run on anything else. Visceral fat finally gets evicted. Visceral fat has been living rent-free wrapped around your internal organs for years. Not the kind you can pinch and feel bad about, the kind silently squeezing your liver and heart while you've been doing crunches with the confidence of someone who has no idea where their actual problem is. Visceral fat isn't just sitting there quietly. It pumps inflammatory compounds called cytokines into your blood around the clock. The more you carry, the higher your inflammation, the higher your heart disease risk, and the worse your cells respond to insulin. After about 16 hours without food, your body starts targeting visceral fat aggressively. Unlike the fat just under your skin, visceral fat releases its stored energy far more easily under fasting conditions. It breaks down faster, moves faster, and burns faster than anything you can see in the mirror. Studies show fasting windows shrink visceral fat more effectively than regular calorie cutting, even when total food eaten is the same between groups. Your body doesn't care how little you ate across 6 meals. It responds to how long it went without a resupply. Visceral fat is the first casualty of that window, every single day. Your gut lining finally gets a day off. Your digestive tract has been processing something every few hours since you were old enough to reach the pantry. It has never once complained publicly, which is impressive given that most people treat it like a commercial kitchen running triple shifts with no cleaning crew, no maintenance window, and no closing time. Your gut wall is one cell layer thick, one row of cells standing between your bloodstream and everything passing through your intestines. That barrier gets worn down by constant digestion, food particles, and the physical stress of your gut running non-stop. When it breaks down, unwanted compounds leak into your blood, called leaky gut, and your immune system starts firing at things it shouldn't. Fasting shuts the kitchen down completely. No food means no acid production, no grinding, no food particles battering the lining. The cells lining your gut, which normally spend all their energy keeping up with daily wear, shift toward actual repair. MIT researchers found that fasting dramatically speeds up gut wall rebuilding, faster than any period of active digestion allows. OMAD gives your gut a 20-hour repair window every day. The lining gets stronger. The gaps between cells seal back up. The wall that protects your blood stops leaking and starts working like it was designed to. Your gut wasn't asking for a probiotic. It was asking for silence. Inflammation finally stops winning. Chronic inflammation is the biological equivalent of leaving every app on your phone running at once, wondering why the battery is dead by noon, and then downloading another wellness app to fix it. Nobody thought to just close the apps. Every meal triggers an inflammatory response. That's normal. The problem is how often. Eat every 3 hours, and your body never fully clears one inflammatory cycle before the next one starts. Low-grade inflammation stops being a temporary event and becomes your permanent setting. OMAD compresses that into one daily window, one event, one resolution. Your body gets to complete the full cycle, start, peak, finish, instead of stacking incomplete rounds on top of each other like dishes nobody ever washes. A blood marker called C-reactive protein, which measures body-wide inflammation, drops consistently in people using extended daily fasting windows. Insulin stays low for 20 hours, cutting off one of the biggest drivers of inflammation in the body. As visceral fat shrinks, it stops dumping cytokines into your blood. Your body stops treating every morning like a fire it has to put out and starts running like a system that actually has things under control. Your mitochondria get stronger under the stress. Mitochondria are the power plants inside every cell, the things your biology teacher made you memorize and you immediately forgot. They're also the single biggest factor in how fast you age, how much energy you have, and how well your body burns fuel. Nobody mentioned that part in school. Fasting puts your mitochondria under mild stress, and that stress is exactly what makes them stronger. Same way lifting weights stresses muscle to make it grow. The challenge triggers adaptation. Without it, mitochondria slowly break down, lose power, and drag every cell down with them. During fasting, your cells build brand new mitochondria to handle the extra demand. At the same time, the broken ones get cleared out and recycled through a process called mitophagy. Old units out, new units in. Your cellular power grid runs cleaner than it has in years. More mitochondria per cell means more energy, faster fat burning, and a metabolism that actually responds the way it's supposed to. Your cells don't age as fast the day you stop eating around the clock. Your hunger hormones get completely recalibrated. Most people assume eating once a day means 23 hours of white-knuckling it near the refrigerator, whimpering softly until dinner. These are also the people who are genuinely hungry every 2 hours because they trained their body to expect food every 2 hours. You built that schedule. You can take it apart. Hunger isn't a fixed biological alarm. It's a learned pattern driven by two hormones. Ghrelin makes you hungry. Leptin tells you you're full. Eat on a consistent schedule and ghrelin spikes like clockwork at exactly those times, whether your body needs fuel or not. It's a conditioned response, not a biological emergency. OMAD resets that pattern within days. Ghrelin spikes shrink because your body stops expecting meals that never show up. Leptin sensitivity improves, meaning your brain actually starts reading the fullness signal instead of ignoring it. Most people eating multiple meals a day have leptin resistance, where the fullness signal exists but never lands. Within 2 weeks of consistent OMAD, most people report hunger almost completely disappearing during the fasting window. Not white-knuckling it, genuinely not hungry. Your body recalibrated its internal clock to match your actual eating window. The fridge stops calling your name at 10 a.m. because your biology stopped scheduling that appointment. Turns out you weren't hungry. You were just punctual. One meal a day isn't a punishment. It's the eating pattern your biology was actually designed for, running every repair system and hormonal reset your body has been waiting to use. If your metabolism, energy, or body composition could use a serious overhaul, hit subscribe. There's a lot more coming.